Most people believe the world is driven by events, by headlines, by loud moments that demand attention. But that's not what actually shapes outcomes. Beneath every decision, every system, every rise and collapse, there are invisible frameworks at work. Quiet rules that don't announce themselves, patterns that decide results long before anyone notices. These are mental models, and whether you understand them or not, they're already running your life. Mental models are not opinions, they're lenses. They determine what you see, what you ignore, and what feels obvious to you. Two people can look at the same situation and walk away with completely different conclusions. Not because one is smarter, but because they're using different models to interpret reality. Most people never question those. From childhood, you're handed default models. How success works, how money works, how effort turns into reward, how risk should be avoided, how authority should be trusted. These models feel natural because they're inherited, not chosen. And that's where the real influence begins. Consider incentives. Every major system on Earth runs on incentives, not intentions. Companies don't do what they plan. Governments don't do what they promise. People don't do what they say they value. They do what they're rewarded for. Once you see this, the entire industry suddenly makes sense. Why short-term profits destroy long-term stability. Why public systems optimize for appearances instead of outcomes. Why bad solutions survive for decades while better ones aren't grown. It's not incompetence, it's alignment. Another model few people consciously use is second-order effects. Most decisions are judged by their immediate result. But the real consequences come later, downstream, delayed, and often invisible at first. Cheap money feels good today, until it distorts behavior, until it inflates assets, until it punishes savers and rewards leverage. Technology promises efficiency, until it centralizes power, until it reshapes attention, until it rewires how humans think. The first effect sells the idea. The second effect changes the world. People who shape systems think in layers. People trapped inside systems think in moments. Then there's compounding. Compounding isn't just about money. It's how advantages stack quietly over time. Small asymmetries, applied consistently, create massive gaps. A slightly better decision repeated daily. A slightly better environment. A slightly longer time horizon. Most people underestimate compounding because it doesn't feel dramatic, it feels boring, invisible, slow, until suddenly it isn't. The same model works in reverse. Neglect compounding, distraction compounding. More incentives compound. By the time the damage is visible, it feels sudden, even though it was building quietly the entire time. Another uncomfortable model is survivorship. We study the winners, copy their surface behaviors. But we rarely see the thousands who use the same strategies and fail. This creates myths about hustle, about genius, about luck masquerading as skill. Without correcting for what you don't see, conclusions become distorted. And distorted conclusions lead to fragile decisions. Then there's systems thinking. Most people chase goals, but goals don't determine outcomes. Systems do. A goal is a wish with a deadline. A system is what actually runs when motivation disappears. This is why disciplined people outperform motivated ones. Why institutions outlast individuals. Why cultures shape behavior more than rules ever could. Change the system, and behavior follows. Ignore the system, and nothing sticks. The most powerful mental models are rarely taught explicitly, because once you understand them, authority weakens. You stop blaming individuals for structural outcomes. You stop mistaking signals for causes. You stop reacting emotionally to surface events. You start asking different questions. Who benefits if this continues? What incentives does this create long-term? What second-order effects are being ignored? What compounds if nothing changes? This way of thinking doesn't make life easier. It makes it clear. And clarity can be unsettling, because once you see the models, you can't unsee them. You notice how often narratives replace analysis, how often simplicity hides complexity, how often certainty is manufactured. The world doesn't run on chaos. It runs on frameworks most people never examine. And the biggest divide isn't intelligence, wealth, or status. It's whether someone is consciously choosing their mental models or unconsciously living inside someone else's. If this changed how you see things, don't rush past it. Sit with it. Question the assumptions you've never questioned before. And if you notice patterns you can't ignore anymore, share what you're seeing. The conversation matters more than the conclusion.